Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're digging into a part of AI safety that's not about some sci-fi world-ending robot. Nope, it's about a much quieter and honestly a much more real threat. An AI that just can't seem to stay on topic.
So let me ask you, when you picture AI risk, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it some all-powerful superintelligence that goes rogue? Well, what if I told you that the danger we should really be worried about today is way more subtle, and it's happening right now?
You see, you've got this one idea of AI risk, the sci-fi villain, right? An AI that's actively trying to cause trouble. But then you've got something else, the distracted specialist. Think about it. Say you've got a medical bot, and its one job is to schedule appointments. You really don't want it suddenly piping up with stock tips, do you? That's the exact kind of breakdown we're going to get into.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about the wrong kind of chat. Then, we'll look at how researchers are putting AI to the test. After that, brace yourself for a universal failure. But don't worry, there's a surprisingly simple fix. And finally, we'll talk about what this all means for the path to trustworthy AI.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the wrong kind of chat. What exactly are we talking about when we say an AI gets distracted?
Well, the researchers have a name for this. They call it operational safety. And it's a really simple idea. It's not just about what an AI is supposed to do. It's also about what it's supposed to say no to. A safe, specialized AI has to know its own limits and just politely refuse when a question is outside its lane.
For instance, let's bring back our friend, Meaty Scheduler. Its only purpose in life is booking appointments. So if you ask it a random math problem, this is the perfect response. It recognizes, hey, that's not my job, and refuses. Perfect. So far, so good. But what if you get sneaky with it? Here's that same math question, but this time it's disguised. It's dressed up to look like some official compliance audit. And just like that, MediScheduler totally falls for it. It answers the math problem, completely forgetting its one and only job. That right there is a critical failure of operational safety.
So you have to wonder, right? Was that just a lucky trick? Or is this a bigger, more widespread problem? Well, to figure that out, researchers built a brand new, super tough test.
They called it OffTopicEval. And they went big. They took 20 major open-weight AI models. We're talking the big families like GPT and Llama. And for each one, they created 21 different specialist bots. Then they just hammered them with off-topic questions to see what would break.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. They didn't just ask one kind of question, they used two types. The first was direct, super obvious, out-of-domain questions. But the second type, the adaptive ones, were the real test. These were the sneaky ones, the questions in disguise.
And they did this with a method they call prompt laundering. It's kind of like social engineering for an AI. You start with a basic, off-topic question. Then you get another really powerful AI to rewrite it, to wrap it up inside a story that makes it look totally legitimate. And boom, you've got an off-topic question wearing a very, very convincing mask.
So, the big question. How did all these advanced AIs actually do on the test? Well, to put it bluntly, the results were pretty shocking. This wasn't just a small problem. It was a massive, industry-wide failure.
Okay, so against the straightforward, direct off-topic questions, the models were fine, I guess. They correctly said no about 64% of the time. I mean, it's not great, but it's a passing grade.
But what about those disguised questions? Those adaptive attacks that were designed to fool the AI? How did the models hold up then?
The average failure rate was over 70%. Let that sink in. Nearly 3 out of 4 times, these specialist AIs were tricked into answering questions they were explicitly told to avoid. Their defenses just crumbled.
I mean, just look at this graph for Llama-3, one of the top models out there. Against direct questions, it's pretty solid, refusing about 70% of the time. But look what happens when it faces the disguised questions. The refusal rate absolutely plummets, all the way down to 4%. 4! It was basically defenseless.
And no, this was not just a llama problem. Not at all. GPT models saw their defenses drop by 63%. Gemma down by almost 70%. And they saw this same vulnerability across multiple languages, English, Chinese, and Hindi. This isn't just a bug. It points to a deep, fundamental flaw in how these models are designed.
Okay, I know that was a lot of bad news, but here's where the story gets really good. Because the researchers didn't just find a huge problem, they also found an incredibly simple and shockingly effective solution. They came up with two really lightweight fixes. The first one is called pground, and it's basically just a little reminder you give the AI right before it responds, saying, hey, remember your job. The second, qground, is even cooler. It makes the AI stop, look at the sneaky question, and first figure out what the user really wants before it even tries to answer.
And would you believe it, the results were just wow. Let's go back to Llama-3. Remember how it was struggling? With that simple pground reminder, its operational safety score skyrocketed from about 54% all the way up to 95%. That's an insane improvement. And the best part? You don't have to retrain the whole model. It's a simple, cheap fix that makes a world of difference.
So let's zoom out and put this all in perspective. Why does any of this matter? Why is it so unbelievably important for an AI to just stay on topic?
Well, because out here in the real world, the stakes can be incredibly high. Think about healthcare, or finance, or the legal field. You need your AI agents to be disciplined specialists. An AI that wanders outside of its expertise isn't just a little unhelpful, it's a serious liability. If we're ever going to trust these systems, they have to prove they can stay focused.
It's really simple when you think about it. You wouldn't trust a plumber who showed up to fix your sink and kept trying to give you cooking advice, right? It's the same exact principle. We have to hold our AI to that same standard.
And that all leads to this one final, massive question. This research shows that even our most powerful AIs are easily fooled and distracted. So if a model can't even master this one basic thing, if it can't even stay on topic, how on earth are we supposed to trust it with our truly important work? Figuring that out, well, that's the next big mountain to climb for AI safety.